distinguished member of the academic community and respected university officials, I express my thanks to the Chancellor, Deputy Chancellors, and all the attendees. I am Adego Kioludotonleke Newton, currently pursuing my PhD in Church Administration and Management at Real Life Christian College and Seminary. Today I'm honored to present the insights geared towards my research on the following topics: the dynamic relationship between church leadership and membership, a mutual covenant. We shall be investigating the collaborative nature of the relationship between the church leaders and members, seeing the shared responsibilities involved. In this research, we try as much as possible to look at the mutual covenant phenomenon. That is, we are discussing on the collaborative nature of the bond between the church leaders and the member, emphasizing the significance of a mutual covenant. The study investigates the historical, theological, and practical dimensions of church membership, especially rooted in biblical foundation. The examination and discuss the interconnectedness of leaders and members, shedding light on shared responsibilities, privileges, and the biblical principles guiding this relationship. The findings have implications for both church leaders and members, emphasizing the need for servant leadership, transparency, and open communication. In the overall, the research provides a comprehensive understanding of the collaborative dynamics, which is essential for fostering a thriving community of believers in the ever-evolving landscape of a contemporary society. Now, in the introduction, this research tries to explore the many aspects of church membership by examining the biblical foundations as well as its role in fostering community, looking at spiritual growth, and apart from that, looking at accountability from both sides, both the member and the leader. So we'll be addressing cultural skepticism towards church membership. The research also investigates the collaborative relationship between church leaders and members, basically emphasizing the shared responsibilities within a mutual covenant. So the study aims to understand church membership dynamics, delving into both biblical foundations and practical implications, thereby highlighting the mutual covenants between the church leaders and members. This study also is significantly contributing to the understanding of church membership in a postmodern context, emphasizing the collaboration phenomenon, that is, the collaborative nature between the church leaders and the members. The key terms here is church membership and mutual covenants, which is encapsulated, which forms the formal affiliation with shared responsibility and the reciprocal commitment, emphasizing collaboration for spiritual growth and community development. So in chapter 2, we try as much as possible to review the evolution of church leadership from the organic structure rooted in service to the issue of hierarchies, which we call the hierarchical models inspired by the Roman administrative system and structures. So the theological consideration and biblical principles, including Jesus as a model of servant leadership, are explored also. So various leadership models from autocratic to participatory and their impact on leader membership dynamics are discussed in details. Biblical principles guiding the relationship between leaders and members are highlighted, ensuring a thorough understanding rooted in timeless principles. In chapter 3, we explore the concept of a mutual covenant in church leadership and membership, defined as a reciprocal and binding agreement characterized by shared responsibility, commitment, and expectation between both the leaders and the member. This covenant goes beyond the legal contract, signifies a spiritual and relational commitment to collaborative foster the growth, well-being, and the mission of the church community. Historical examples and contemporary relevance are discussed, emphasizing its importance in building resilient, united, and spiritual vibrant communities at large. In chapter 4, we look at the shared responsibilities in church leadership and membership. In exploring shared responsibility in church leadership and membership, a collaborative approach is emphasized, where leaders and members actively engage in various facets of church life to fulfill the church mission. The key responsibilities for leaders include providing spiritual guidance and teachings, uh, pastoral care services, counseling services, vision casting, strategic leadership, and decision making, as well as governance. These are notable works as expressed by scholars like John Stott and Warren Bennings. They inform the understanding of the effective leadership within the church. Members, on the other hand, shared responsibilities such as active participation in worship and fellowship, personal discipleship and spiritual growth, engagement in acts of service and ministry, and stewardship through financial support. All these are quite salient and important on the part of the member. So, insights from authors like Richard Foster and Randy Alcorn. This enriches the appreciation of these responsibilities within the context of church membership. Overlapping responsibility and collaborative efforts between both the member and the leader include prayer and intercession, evangelism and outreaches, community building, and promoting inclusivity. Noteworthy theologians and missiologists like E.M. Bounds and David Busk, they contribute their perspective on the mutual nature of prayer and mission between the leader and the member. Now, balancing authority and participation is identified as a delicate task because it requires qualitative wisdom as well as humility and a commitment to mutual respect from the two sides. So concepts like servant leadership, congregational governance, spiritual discernment, and open communication are highlighted as essential for achieving this balance. So works by Robert K. Greenleaf and J. Oswald Sanders provides valuable insight into the principles of servant leadership and spiritual discernment. So when we look at the shared responsibility in church leadership and membership, we know that these will always create a dynamic and a vibrant community, thereby reflecting the biblical concept of what the body of Christ should look like. So they identify responsibilities, which is drawn from various disciplines, including theology, leadership, and organizational behavior. These offers a framework for understanding the multifaceted nature of roles within the church. Collaborative efforts in prayers, like we've said earlier, evangelism, community building, and hospitality are deemed crucial for the church unity and the main purpose of church establishment. So, as churches face modern challenges, the collaborative effort of leaders and members become increasingly crucial. The shared commitment to responsibilities fosters a sense of unity and purpose, thereby aligning with the biblical concept of the body of Christ in general. So, balancing authority and participation is recognized as an intentional effort rooted in biblical principles and guided by the wisdom of servant leadership. So, in chapter 5, which is physically based on challenges and opportunities in the relationship between both leaders and members, we explore the challenges, which we said is quite inevitable, yet they present opportunities for growth and collaboration. So, common challenges include the communication breakdown, power struggles, resistance to change, unrealistic expectation from both sides, both the leaders and the members, as well as conflicts, which will always come up once in a while. Noteworthy works by Patrick Lincoln, and J. Oswald Sanders, John P. Cotter, Chris Voss, and Ken Sanders provide insight into addressing these challenges, which are quite inevitable, as we said earlier, and restoring relational harmony within the church community. Opportunities for growth and collaboration will always emerge depending on our perspective and depending on our perspective of what these challenges are. We can see it as opportunity for growth, or we can see it as an insurmountable accolade task. So we must try as much as possible to see it as an opportunity for growth. Thereby, we cultivate the culture of collaboration. Thereby, we also emphasize the servant leadership, establishing clear communication channels, investing in conflict resolution training. This is quite crucial, and creating a shared vision and also creating shared values. Scholars such as Peter L. Stink and Robert K. Greenleaf and the Sandley and Jim Collins, they all offer principles and models to guide churches in embracing these opportunities for positive transformation instead of seeing it as insurmountable challenge. So the chapter underscores that challenges, while inherent, and there's nothing we could do about that, can become as stepping stones for improvement and for collaboration between the two parties. So the acknowledgement of common issues coupled with a proactive approach to improvement and learning from successful resolutions in the time past can contribute to the cultivation of healthier and more effective church communities at large. Our leadership theories, communication strategies, like we said before, conflict resolution principles, and case study examples can also contribute to a comprehensive understanding of how to navigate these challenges and to seize the opportunities within the church context. So the relationship between leaders and member is recognized as quite pivotal in shaping the culture and effectiveness of the church community. In chapter 6, we look at the strategies for enhancing the relationship between the leader and the members. So, in strengthening the relationship between both the leaders and members, we've said practical strategies must be implemented. A mutual covenant must be fostered through establishment of clear expectation from both sides. There must also be mutual accountability from both sides. And there must also be creation of a shared value, as we have said earlier. These we attribute to the insight from Larry Osborne and the Robert Crosby. They emphasize the significance of clarity at all times and shared understanding, which will help to minimize misunderstanding and conflict between the leader and the members. When we're talking about building trust and effective communication, these are quite fundamental. They are fundamental issues. Transparency, active listening, and regular communication channels will always influence the results that can be gotten in the church community. And Peter M. Seji and Stephen R. Covey, they contributed to an environment where members feel informed and valued, as stated by both scholars and authors. So conflict resolution training drawing from Ken Sanders' principle, which talks about how to equip both leaders and members to address issues constructively, is quite vital in helping to maintain a bond between both leaders and the members. Training and continuous training can never be overemphasized. Both sides has to keep being trained. That is, both the leaders and the members has to continue on continuous training, which will help in collaboration between the two of them. So leadership development programs, leadership development training, discipleship training for members, mentoring relationships training, and a culture of continuous learning, which is inspired by Warren Bennon, Dallas Willard, and John C. Maxwell, will contribute to the skill and growth of both the leader and the members. We also need to consider the issue of feedback mechanisms, such as anonymous systems, periodic surveys, town hall listenings, evaluation sections, These are quite pivotal as discussed by Ella In and Alan Fink, Peter I. Stink, and Daniel Goleman. All this will provide for avenues for open communication strategies. It will also help in strategic decision making and thorough introspection. So these practical strategies drawn from these scholars mentioned above will bring about insight, and as well as when we marry this to biblical principles, they will serve as a roadmap for nurturing a healthy church community. So by embracing these intentional approaches, churches can create environments where both the leaders and members can thrive, and they're contributing to the vitality, collaboration, and mission focused effectiveness of the church body as well as the church community. In conclusion, the chapter 7, we look at this collaboration, and we said examine the historical and the theological and practical dimensions. We can see that shared responsibilities will help in stabilizing any church. So, in our postmodern context, church membership must align with the sacrificial nature of the gospel, rooted in biblical metaphors like the body, the shepherding, discipleship, discipline, submission to leadership, following hierarchies, just to mention a few. So we said the implications for leaders will also include prioritizing servant leadership, transparency on their own part, effective communication, and the continuous ongoing training. Uh, Members are encouraged also to recognize their vital role, understand the call to commitment and active participation, adaptation to cultural changes, while upholding core biblical values are quite crucial for both the leaders and members to ensure the church remains relevant, vibrant, and accessible in an ever evolving society. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.